What's up, y'all? I'm Deidra, and this is ShadeTree Reads. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about what I plan to read for the Asian Readathon, other things I plan on reading in May, and I'm going to be talking to you about the haul that never was. So basically what happened was I ordered some books back in like mid-March from Waterstone, and I got The City We Became in a signed limited edition that was supposed to have pink sprayed edges. I got a limited edition of The Coldest Winter Ever because I wanted to reread it along with a friend of mine. And I got The Memory Police, and I got one other book and I can't even remember what it was now. But I got those books and it just got lost in the mail. I'm pretty sure it came and just USPS just wouldn't leave it for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, I just never received it, and Waterstone is not answering my email requests for some support. So anyways, I did order some other books from a local bookstore right when the layoffs and everything first hit, just to try to support a local store. And I did get a couple books. I did actually receive them in my hands from that, and I was gonna haul all 6 books, but anyways, that's not to be. I'll probably reorder them again at a later date. But for now, let's just talk about what I'm going to read for the Asian Readathon. So if you didn't know, the Asian Readathon was created by Reading with Cindy, Cindy over at Reading with Cindy. And I will link her announcement video below and the Google Doc that she created with a bunch of suggestions. But anyways, this is the second year that she's done this, and I sort of participated last year from afar. This year I plan to fully participate in it, and let's talk about what I'm going to read for the first prompt. The first prompt for the Asian Readathon for 2020 is just to read a book by an Asian author. And that's pretty easy. I had been seeing these 2 books that I'm gonna list here. Just been seeing them while I'm scrolling through Kindle deals, and they look so interesting to me. And they're short, so I figured I could combine them for this one prompt, and I shouldn't have any trouble actually getting done with them. So the first book that I'm going to be reading for the Asian Readathon in the first prompt for Read a Book by an Asian Author is The Empress of Salt and Fortune by DEE-druh. And I'm just going to read this one sentence from the Goodreads synopsis, and it'll pretty much let you know why I decided to pick it up. So it says, with the heart of an Atwood tale and the visuals of a classic Asian period drama, The Empress of Salt and Fortune is a tightly and lushly written narrative about empire storytelling and the anger of women. So there's like 3 more sentences, but that's all I needed to know about it in order to want to read it. It's only like 112 pages, so I figured I could knock that out pretty quickly and get one challenge down. But since that one is so short, I decided that maybe I should pick up a second book to go with that, just in case I have some extra time. I'm gonna leave this one for the very last. But that one is The Black Tides of Heaven by J.Y. Yang. This one is, I don't really know much about this one. This one was on sale on Kindle for like $1.99, or like, I think it was like $4 for the whole series, when I think it's like 3 books in the series. But this book is 236 pages. So if I read The Empress of Salt and Fortune and the Black Tides of Heaven, I'm going to count both of those as fulfilling prompt number 1 in this challenge. I'm sorry if there's a slight difference in angle. I had to re-record this little segment. The second prompt for the Asian Readathon is read a book with an Asian author or an Asian character who you can relate to. And for that one, I chose Bloody Soul by Sonia Patel. And I got this one from a local bookstore I got it from these folks, and I actually received it. I ordered it and I received it maybe like 5 days later. I lived just a little bit too far for them to deliver it, but I was just trying to do my part to support local bookstores, like I've already said. Anyways, I got this book for one because the cover is just beautiful. It's printed onto the cover. And I just love that. I love when hardbacks do that. And the second one is, the second reason is that the story sounded cool. It's set in Seoul, obviously, but so this is a teenage boy, and what I remember of the premise is he is living with his parents, and his father runs either a gang or a cartel or something of that nature. I'm pretty sure it's the cartel. So something happens to his father. Either his father is locked up or is killed or something, and he goes on a mission to get revenge or figure out what happens, or carry on his father's legacy. And he finds out some stuff in the midst of doing that he doesn't necessarily like, and he has to make some decisions. And so I thought this was gonna be really good. I'm glad Cindy is doing the Asian Readathon again this year, and I did not pick this up purposely so that I could pick it up for this month. I am excited. It's 279 pages. The font is kind of cool looking, but kind of small, but the spacing is big. I mean, I don't think I'll have any trouble getting through this as long as I enjoy the writing. The third challenge for the Asian Readathon is read a book featuring an Asian character or an Asian author who is different from you. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. So the reason I picked this one is because I love my mom, but I'm a daddy's girl, and this kid seemed to be a daddy's boy, if that's such a thing. I don't know if that's even a thing. I love my daddy, and it sounded like he loves his dad too and would do anything to preserve his legacy, and so would I. So I picked this one up and chose this one for the second prompt for that reason. The third prompt for the Asian Readathon is read a book featuring an Asian author or an Asian character who is different from you. And for this one, I chose Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows by Bali Kaur Jaswal. And this is set in India, and so that's South Asia, and that is the main reason why I picked this. The second reason is I won this in a Goodreads giveaway back when I first joined it, and that's the only thing I ever won from that site, which I'm not salty about at all. I'm just saying, that's all I've ever won from them, no matter, I mean, I've entered so many, as we all have. All the giveaways that they ever put out for books that I have on my shelf, I enter them. But I won that one, and it's an ebook form, so I don't remember how many pages it is, but I did start it. I started it Saturday, I think, and so far I'm not that into the writing, but it could be because I have just gotten kind of a little spoiled with reading manga, that the action is just so quick with the manga that I got spoiled. But it's supposed to be pretty fun. I think it was one of Reese Witherspoon's picks for her book club one month, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably, unless it's just really if it's just really not my jam, I'll probably try to push through it anyway and just read it so I can say I read it, because it does sound interesting. Okay, and the fourth prompt for Asian Readathon is read a book recommended by an Asian. And you guys know that I have the same friend that always recommends me the books, and she recommended that I get this one, and that is Homie by Danette Smith. I have not read anything by them yet, and this is just a collection of poems. Poetry is not really my jam, but I'm going to take the suggestion of all the people who do enjoy poetry or know how to read it or smart enough to read it. And they say to read it out loud, and that really helps you get a feel for what the author is trying to convey. And so I'm going to give that a try along with this book that my Asian friend recommended to me. So the last thing that is to be said about the Asian Readathon is the group book, which is Little Fires Everywhere. I did not write that. Oh, it's by Celeste Ng. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I forgot to look up the pronunciation before I started this video. But anyways, there is going to be a watch along for the Hulu series, and that is going to be from the 15th through the 29th. And then the live show for the watch along is going to be on the 30th. And then the read along for the group book, I think it's now until the 15th. And then the live show for the group book is going to be on the 16th of May, which is like, what, next Saturday or Friday? Wait, today is the 6th. So, how many days? So that's 10 days from now. So yeah, like next Saturday is the live show. Sorry, I touched my little table with my tripod. But yeah, anyways, I probably will get to that. I own it already. I've just been dragging my feet. I've heard nothing but good things about it. And so that's kind of why I have been dragging my feet, because hype books just, I don't know, but we'll see. So that is everything I'm going to read for that is everything that is on my TBR for the Asian Readathon for 2020. Next, we're going to talk about a couple things that I plan to get to as well in May. I want to go ahead and finish the second installment of the Broken Earth trilogy, The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I read the 5th season in, was that March or February? I think it might have been February, but I read it a couple months ago, and I didn't mean for it to take this long for me to get around to the Obelisk Gate. But here we are, and I also started it. I'm on page 40 something, but I'm going to restart it because I don't remember a whole lot about what happened so far, and I want a fresh start and have the audiobook to go with this, so there's no excuses. I'm going to get through this in May. Second thing I want to finally get to in May is Slay. I've heard mostly good things. One of my trusted reviewers and booktubers kind of like didn't enjoy this that much, and the reason why she didn't enjoy it that much might be the same problem for me. So I've kind of not, it's not that when she said it, it discouraged me, but I just know that that is an issue for me too, and I'm glad I had a heads up. But I'm sorry that it's taken me this long to get to this book, because I am excited to have a book about a Black gamer girl, and a teenage gamer girl for that matter. This is just another book that I wish had been around when I was a teenager. But basically, my understanding of what this is about, if you haven't heard anything about it, I don't know what you've been doing, but this is about a girl. This girl creates a video game that is centered on Black culture, or it's centered, the target audience is Black people for the most part. I don't think it's people of color. I think it's specifically Black people that her game is for. And something happens where somebody dies, and the person that dies is somehow tied to the game Slay that she makes. And I guess the rest of the book is about what happens as a result of that death. So I'm looking forward to this, and I will get to it in May. By golly, wow. The next book that I really want to get to in May is something that I had on my Magical Readathon TBR, and I just never got around to it because last month was just hell. I did wrap up that month, and I just didn't get to nearly all the books that I wanted to. But this one is Midnight Crossroads by Charlaine Harris. I enjoy Miss Harris's writing just a whole lot. I love the Sookie Stackhouse novels. She has she has several series, but she has one more that I've read at least 7 books from, and it's a mystery one. it's like a murder club mystery type of situation where there's a murder club where people study serial killers and murderers and things of that nature, and somebody in that town ends up dead, which is reminding me a lot of another book that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. I miss her writing, and I miss being in her worlds, and I'm not that hype about watching the show that has been adapted to this from this novel, but I'm excited to go back into her world and get back in her writing because I miss her. Another book that I want to get to this month is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This book, I've bought it strictly for the cover. Like this, I live for this. This is beautiful. And I don't have that many horror novels on my shelf, and I am starting to like that a lot more. I'm thinking I will like his writing. I don't know why. I haven't read anything by him, but I just feel like I will. This cover just did it for me. So I'm excited for this. We'll see. I don't know anything other than it's my best friend's Exorcism. The other thing I intend on reading in May this month is another book by Grady Hendrix, and that is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I saw Brody read this, and I saw their review of this book, and they had some issues with some of the demographics, I guess we could say, of the characters in the book. And it wasn't like it's not like I don't disagree with them. I just want to read it for myself and just see if I feel the same way. And I got the hankering to read My Best Friend's Exorcism, and I felt like I was gonna like it so much that I was gonna read more from Grady Hendrix. So that's why that one's on this list for this month. But I won't be that mad if I don't get to it, to be quite honest. I'm gonna read My Best Friend's Exorcism first, just because publication order. Oh, this one was published in 2016. The paperback was published in 2017. So it's not that old, but maybe he's grown a little bit a lot. I don't know. Between then and this book that he recently, I know he has Horror Store, and I haven't read that one either. And I don't really want to read Horror Store. But I know he has other books. I think he has an anthology about 80s horror that I'm really into. I think it's called Paperback from Hell or Paperback Hell, one of the two. I'll put a picture of the one I'm thinking of. I think it ends up being over here. So I'll put that picture up there. But anyways, this is everything that I intend to read for May and for the Asian Readathon in 2020. I hope you stick around or come back when I wrap up these books that I read and just let you know how I felt about them. Follow me on Twitter, because a lot of times I will tweet as I go on books if I have anything interesting or something I think is funny, or like, holy shit, that happened. I like to tweet stuff about books. But I am thankful that you guys decided to come and watch this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this one a like if you liked it. And we'll see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.